live. We are at the DIA, Danvers International Airport. Currently, I am on my way to Chicago. And in this video, as someone who has done a number of international trips and got more international trips coming up, I want to talk about some of the mistakes that has happened to me. And this was just last year. My friend Dom was getting married in Toronto. So the plan for me to get to my friend's wedding, my friend Dom's wedding in Toronto in the summer, was because I was in Korea. I was going to get to Korea, to Chicago, which is where I lived at the time, take a day to shop for my suit, and then the next day fly out to Toronto to attend the wedding. And here is where it all went south. On the last night of my time in Korea, I was getting all kinds of notifications on my phone for me to check in. And obviously, been there, done that, So, of course, I, again, proceeded to ignore it. The following morning, on the day of my flight, I get a text message from my friend Owen, who was meant to pick me up from Chicago, asking, hey, what time am I supposed to pick you up? So I said, 8 o'clock in the morning. Then he responds, so in about 12 hours. Now, here's where I knew something was wrong, just because if there was a direct flight, it would have been 12 hours, but there was no direct flight. My flight was from ICN, from Seoul to Dallas to Chicago, which was going to take more than 20 hours, I think. So immediately I checked my itinerary, and my flight was yesterday, the day before. So I had missed my flight by nearly 24 hours. My whole family was visiting Korea with me at the time, and there's no way I could tell my mom about what happened. And as you might know, if you happen to tell your parents or your mom especially about what happened, especially in this case, my mom was gonna kill me. There was no doubt. So brought the news to my auntie, who I'm very close to, and we figured call the airline, see what happened. Maybe I can get it rescheduled. The answer was no, just because I had already missed my flight. My flight was already gone, and I was considered as a no-show, so my flight was gone. I can't get rebooked, so what I had to do was spend nearly $2,000 to get to Toronto. It doesn't stop there. So I booked my new flight, spent nearly $2,000. The new flight was the next day, so I took that day to go shop my suit, which was fine all in all, because my mom didn't figure out. I just told her that, hey, I'm going to take another day, I'm flying out tomorrow. So she was happy, well happy. She still doesn't know until she's going to watch this. Okay, so the next day comes. Now my flight is from Seoul to Tokyo to Chicago to Toronto. Seoul to Tokyo, zero problem. Got to Tokyo, food was fantastic at the airport. Nothing is going wrong, everything is smooth. Get on the flight, suddenly storm comes. My flight gets delayed for about 3 hours, so I was definitely going to miss my layover from Chicago to Toronto. So I get to Chicago, and the announcement as soon as we land in Chicago was, if you had a layover, please go to the kiosk and they'll get you rebooked on a new flight. So I went to United, and the lady on the desk was asking why I'm here. I was like, what do you mean? They told me to come here. And she said, well, no, because your initial flight from Seoul to Tokyo was operated by American Airlines. Now you gotta go to American Airlines. All right, well, I go to American Airlines. Now the woman there is asking, why are you here? The same thing. Well, the United sent to me. And she was like, no, we don't see you on the list. I was having an absolute nightmare. So eventually, she figures things out, gets me on the new flight from Chicago to Toronto, and that gets delayed by 2 hours. And I finally land in Toronto at about 2 in the morning, right? Have my suit and all that. Now, I've never owned a pair of suits in my life before, just because I was a soccer coach. Never really had a chance to buy one, never really needed one, never really been to weddings either. So I get to Toronto, I call Uber. Another mistake, I thought my phone was going to work just because it was Canada. I thought it was all meant to work, Canada, USA. I thought it was all going to be the same, but it wasn't. Anyway, got the Wi-Fi, called Uber, on my way to the hotel now. Something's wrong, right? Something felt off. So what happened was, from Chicago to Toronto, I want to feel a little bit fancy, gave my suit, brand new suit, to the flight attendant. Hey, can you hold on to it? And then I'll pick it up as I'm exiting the airplane, deplaning, right? totally forgot. I left my suit right behind on the airplane, and I didn't have my suit with me. So the following day, I had to go back to the airport, spent about 3 hours trying to retrieve my suit that I had just purchased from Korea with after all those events that have already happened. Yeah, got to the wedding, and that was enjoyable. That was really good. So perfect there. But now on the way back home, flight gets delayed again, and now home 5 hours later. So that's one story told in, I don't know how many minutes this took, but